Actually, I was just kidding, man. I don't really drink this stuff. But I do want to talk about this because I know a lot of people talk about this, and you guys need to be listening to this. This little, what is this, a half pint? I don't know, a pint? I don't know, what is it? 375 milliliters. I don't know, I'm not a big drinker, but I guess a pint. This pint of this Crystal Palace Deluxe vodka with natural flavor was $2.80. In a SHTF situation, this is no longer worth $2.80. This could be worth $20, $40. I don't know. But I do know this. It's cheap enough that if you take, listen, $2.80 a bottle, right? If you buy 5 of these a week for the next 3 months, you will have a huge supply of alcohol at your house. They also sell this kind of stuff in bourbons and other things. It's probably a good idea to have some vodka and some bourbon, but here's the idea. In the case of a power outage, right, and this happened to me even in my own town. We lost power over the winter. Well, we didn't here in my house, but uptown lost power. The gas station had no power, which is our local alcohol depot. And it was during a snowy time. They couldn't make any sales because they had no power. So, now, while I get that that's not a time to pull out your emergency stash, if we did lose power for an extended period of time, like if y'all think back, 20 years ago or whatever, 18 years, 19 years ago, whatever it was, when the Eastern Seaboard power grid went down, we were all part of that. And so for a little over a week, we had no power. You know, we had to drive a long way to find people that did, right? But if you think about extended periods of time where people that rely on alcohol are not able to get alcohol, you can use this stuff to barter. Because while I don't have a problem not having alcohol in my life, seriously, I do not drink. Very rarely do I drink. I do have a beer or two occasionally, but I'm just not a big drinker. This is very detrimental. Well, I may need something as well. Maybe I need some food to feed my family, or maybe I need some propane, or maybe I need some gasoline to put in my generator, or maybe I need whatever I need. Maybe I need first aid stuff, penicillin, antibiotics, I don't know. But this becomes a very powerful trading tool. The other thing that I tell people is bags of cigarette tobacco. Buy a few. Buy some rolling papers. Buy some of the little tubes. Buy the silly little machines that load the tubes. Because you can load up tubes and now you can trade 10 cigarettes for maybe some medicine. Just saying. Having things of vice, or having vice stuff available, very important. Very important. I'm telling you, for, like I said, like somebody like me, I don't have to have a cigar. Would I crave one? Sure. But am I going to like lose my mind if I don't have one? No. Am I going to lose my mind if I don't have alcohol? No. But there are people out there that will. And, you know, and it's very stressful for them too. So having this stuff and buying it on the cheap, go for it. Go for it. Not only that, it is 80 proof. It's 40% alcohol by volume. You could technically, I guess, if you had to, use it as an antiseptic. Ugh. I can't even fathom what this stuff tastes like. I mean, if I'm going to drink vodka, it's going to be like Grey Goose, Belvedere, Box, something like that. But, nonetheless, super cheap to buy. The same thing with, like I said, bags of cigarette tobacco. Buy some in menthol, buy some in non, or just buy whatever's the cheapest. It doesn't make any difference. They do come sealed. I would highly recommend vacuum sealing that on top of that. Just that way it retains all the moisture. Everything's good to go. But you could be the new cigarette man on your block if oh crap, stuff just went down. And you need to make a trade for something that you need. Maybe you need a car battery. Or maybe you need gas for your chainsaw. Maybe you need firewood for your fireplace. All this stuff really adds up quick. So take it from all of the people out there that talk about this. Listen, and that's one thing I do want to say for sure. Well, number one, I want to say, make sure to check out my Patreon channel. This month we're giving away a survival knife. It's either going to be a Glock or a K-bar. I haven't really decided. I'm still testing both of these blades to see which one I prefer and think is the best survival-ish kind of knife to have. You know, these aren't really like fighting knives. I know people are like, oh, it's a fighter, man. Not really. Yeah, but we'll get to that. But you know, I watch a lot of these prepping people on YouTube so that I can educate myself. And I take everything that they all say with a grain of salt. But there are certain things that everybody agrees on. And one is stockpiling, vice, you know, stuff, as well as your normal prepping, having your own gas, your propane, you know, your food, your first aid, all that stuff. Those are all, without a doubt, everybody agrees on that. But outside of that, the vice stuff, man, this, I'm telling you, you know, you have 40 bottles of this over an extended period of time. You have 40 bottles of bourbon, you know, and then don't be afraid to stockpile some of those a little bit higher, some Absolute vodka or something, you know, something that's a little more normal-ish, right? Because there are going to be some people that don't necessarily want it for the alcohol content. They want it for the enjoyment, and that could be worth a lot in trade. So, you know, there's always that bartering stuff. And rule number one of bartering, don't ever barter ammo. I hear people say this all the time, and it drives me nuts. People are like, well, I stockpile 223 or 556 or 300 or 9mm, and I'm going to barter that, dude, because I've got a ton of it. Let me tell you why you don't do that, and I heard somebody say this, and a huge shout out to the guys who say this and got me thinking about it. Why would you want to barter off something that somebody could use against you if they wanted to? Right? Just saying. Why would you want to arm your potential enemy next week? You don't. Maybe he's your, you guys know each other from uptown or whatever, and you know who he is, and you think that everything's good until everything's bad for that person, and you just armed that person to come and take what is yours. Keep that in mind. Ammo is not for bartering. Guns are not for bartering. Unless people want to barter it back to you, absolutely. But don't ever give up your ammo. Don't ever give up your guns. You know, I wouldn't even give up a knife. You know, in the hands of the right person. This is just as bad. You know. But even having tools. This is another thing that I thought about the other day when I picked this thing up. This little hammer was like $3, right? Now this is a hammer. It is not a big hammer, but somebody might not have a hammer. So for $3, can you afford to have, you know, eventually to buy like a couple of these and just have them stored? Yes. Can you afford to have a few of these 10-in-1 screwdrivers? Yes. Because somebody may not have this and might need it. They might need to work on their car. They might need to do this. Those cheap tool kits, man, those things are great. Listen, you just never know what somebody might need. And for us to have it on hand is not a big deal, guys. It's really not. It's not like it's like taking up that much room. I've got a small cabinet over there. It's probably about this tall, about this wide, and it's about this deep. And it's just got bartering stuff for if they need it. Having hatchets or axes, something like that. You know, people might need to cut firewood. Gas might be depleted. We might not be able to run our chainsaws. You know, even storing some of the, and I don't think I have any laying around here because I think I moved it all. What's up, buddy? The gas, the non-ethanol gas that you can buy in the bottles. having some of that stuff just around. You know, you figure I can run my chainsaw, if I'm just cutting up some quick wood, I can run my big Husqvarna chainsaw probably for a week. If I already know what I have and I'm just doing some cuts, you know, I can run it on one tank about a week and about a half hour a day. Well, 15 minutes a day. You should be able to get firewood in less than 15 minutes a day. So, you know, figure how long would a couple of gallons of that last? It's pre-mixed fuel for my chainsaw, you know, things like that. It can last a long time. You can buy it in the gallons too. And I mean, you know, I'm not saying that everybody's got the money to rush out and buy 5 gallons of this stuff. But if you buy a gallon here, a gallon there, a gallon again, just when you can swing it, maybe this week you just have, you know, you just got paid and you go, you know what? I'm already here at the store. There it is. Let me just pick up a gallon and go stick it in. That stuff will last for a long, long time. Long. So, and then you can always, you know, I always write the dates when I get things on them. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys get back to what you were doing. Till next time, I'm Moose. This is Cigars and Gear. Thanks for tuning in again. And I need to relight my cigar. We'll talk soon. See ya.